John McAvoy here, Premier Team Coach Conor Coad, 2 days after last 16 away win versus Old County. A great win for you and the boys, as no matter what team you play, the Dubs are always going to be tough to play against, and that's doubled when you're actually playing up there. Can you give us a brief synopsis of the game?
It was a real tough game, Johnny. It was really difficult, real hostile away environment to go to. It's probably one of the toughest kind of away days that we would have had in terms of as a group, with the crowd that they had and with the quality team that they had as well. They were Old County were a really good side. A lot of players that would have played League of Ireland football over the last few years, with Bows, Pats, Shells, under 19s that have kind of graduated out of it into adult football, and a lot of them are after kind of coming together to play with this crowd. So yeah, it was a tough game. They were a real high level quality opponent, but to be fair to the lads, we put in a big performance, big effort, really good pressing performance, out of possession, and we made our possession count when we had the ball. So yeah, overall really happy with the performance, both with and without the ball, and did enough to get through to the next round, which is the main thing.
Brilliant. Now it was an awkward time, and with so many games for the club being penciled in for Saturday and then getting called off and people working, it was always going to be a tough one getting folks travel and support the boys. So that professionalism in the squad, just to get up and do the job, is a real test of what you're doing here. So what was preparation like in the lead up to this massive away day?
Yeah, it was always going to be a tricky kind of day in terms of Saturday evening kick-off. So we trained on Friday night in advance of it, like we always do for our match prep session, and we kind of had to split our focus with our prep this time. We had the tactical, technical element to it, which we'd always have in terms of our on-pitch game plan, but we had to do a good bit of work too with the lads in terms of the mental preparation and performance that we were looking for, and just to to make sure the main kind of key points were covered with them, so that they knew what they were expecting in terms of, from a hostility and intimidation point of view, they weren't going to be caught unawares. So we put a huge emphasis on that, both on the Friday night before the game, and then we had our pre-match in the Maldron up in Newlands Cross before the game as well, and we had another team meeting up there and kind of just reinforced those key points. And to be fair to the lads, they delivered not just technical, tactical, the game plan that we set out. They didn't just deliver that, they were also showed real maturity, real togetherness to not engage, not react to anything that was said to them or put to them from that side of it, and they made the game about football, and that's what really suited us on the day.
Yeah, you could really see that. Now Old County, they have a highly prestigious coach in the form of current Shamrock Rovers defender Dan Cleary, and with the squad bolstered by those ex-League of Ireland players that you were saying, but having such high profile names under the Old County crest make the homework of how they will play that a little bit easier and help you tactically prepare for it.
Yeah, we were lucky to be able to get footage of their most recent Junior Cup game against Ulster, which would have gave us, I suppose, an indication of them in their probably strongest form in a very recent game. Obviously, having the likes of Dan Cleary involved, and I think they had Lee Stacey, who would have played with Cove last year. He's up at the Rovers this year as well. He's the Rovers number 2 goalkeeper, and then they had Jake Mulroney involved from St. Pat's, who actually played against Dan on Friday night in that President's Cup. So they have players of that kind of calibre involved in the coaching setup. Again, those kind of lads would have played with a lot of the lads that are involved at Old County a few years ago from an underage League of Ireland point of view. So it kind of made I suppose a little bit more of a difficult task in a sense, because you knew that they were going to be really well set from a tactical point of view. You knew they were going to be organised. So it just made us, I suppose, our prep, the level of detail that we needed to go into, probably needed to go to that next level. And I think we did a good job of that in terms of what we were asking the lads, and they took the information on board. And we did a great job of it in terms of on pitch, the performance that the lads put in.
Yeah, you can see it. You're really good. So I watched the game back on my phone, and the first goal when Kilgannon struck it after a phase of play starting from Reggie's quick throw, and the second with a brilliant high press from the lads that forced the mistake to Reggie actually to finish it calmly. That quick, intense mentality and high level of fitness looked clinical from the boys on Saturday. You must be proud of what they're giving you each game day.
Yeah, like I said, the in possession stuff was really important. That when we had the ball, we kind of made it count, and we certainly did that with both goals. The first one, it was a quick throw in, and ended up with Towers, just put a ball in for Fredo. The two lads played a little bit higher than we probably normally ask them to do, and it was nice to see that pay off. And Kilgannon's kind of continuously making the box all season really well for us, and he's well into double figures now with his goals. So we had a great first goal, and the second one, we actually had a chat about half time. Old County were really adamant on playing it from the back all the time, so we made sure that we got our press right, and we knew we'd probably nick one because it was just if we maintain those levels of intensity with our pressing. So we did that, and we managed to score the winning goal from them turning the ball over. We pinched it in the final third, and Reggie slotted away coolly, which was great for him. So again, really happy with the level of performance and the information that the lads are taking on, and it was great when you get goals as a result of the work that's directly been done.
Mm-hmm. Finally, then we saw that our last 16 games concluded this past Sunday with some very tasty potential matchups for some intense games to be played, with the draw occurring tomorrow, Tuesday. So getting so far into the competition, is there any pressure on yourself or the squad being the only Waterford team to fly the county's flag on the national stage?
No, it's probably one that we kind of had set out at the start of the year. Our aim was to get out of the area first and foremost, and then we take it one game at a time as it comes, and that's probably the same approach to all competitions that we're in. The only pressure that we kind of have on the group is what we put in ourselves internally. But again, we've a lot of lads that have been a part of these cup runs now over the last couple of years, so not going to be phased by too much, not going to be phased by playing big games, quarterfinals or things like that. It's something that the group are well used to, and I think the more of a challenge that this group has, the more levels that'll come out of them. So no concerns there in terms of dealing with that. So it's just a case of treating every game on its own merits, and if we can continue doing that, I think we'll be a good test for anybody.
Yeah, look forward to that draw now tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be a good draw. All good teams are left at this stage. It's a really stacked last 8, some games that definitely be tricky away trips. You'd want to try and get a home draw if at all possible, and again, I don't think we've been beaten at home now in over 4 years in our competition, so it's just a case of if we can get a home draw, we can make that home advantage count. But we've shown, like we showed on Saturday, that we're well capable of going to the most difficult places and grinding out results too. So look, we'll see what the morning brings in terms of the draw.
Fingers crossed.
That's it.
Conor, appreciate that.
Thanks,
million, sound.